What if the sun suddenly disappeared? Imagine this, you're walking outside on a sunny afternoon. The birds are chirping, kids are laughing, and the warmth of the sun touches your skin. Then, without warning, the sun vanishes. One moment it's there, the next, it's gone. No warning, no explosion, just emptiness where the brightest object in our sky used to be. What would happen? How long would Earth survive? Could humanity endure such a cosmic disaster? Let's dive into the science and uncover what would unfold in a sunless world. The first 8 minutes. Blissful ignorance. For the first 8 minutes and 20 seconds after the sun disappears, Earth wouldn't notice anything. Why? Because light from the sun takes that long to travel, 93 million miles to reach us. This delay means that, for a brief moment, life would seem normal. But after those 8 minutes, the sun's light, and its gravitational pull, would vanish. Instantly, the sky would turn black. Stars would be visible even during the day, and the moon, which relies on sunlight to shine, would fade into a dark, ghostly shadow. The chaos begins. The Earth loses its orbit. The sun's gravitational pull is what keeps Earth and all other planets locked in their orbits. Without it, Earth would no longer revolve around the sun. Instead, it would shoot off in a straight line through space, obeying Newton's first law of motion. An object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by another force. Earth's new trajectory would send it hurtling into the cold, dark void of the universe. The fate of our planet would depend on whether it encounters another star or black hole in its journey, but that's a long-term concern. Temperature drop. A world freezing over without the sun, Earth's surface temperature would plummet rapidly. Here's what the timeline of cooling might look like. After 24 hours, the temperature would drop to about 0 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. After a week, temperatures would plummet to -17 degrees Celsius, 1 degree Fahrenheit. Most plants, unable to photosynthesize without sunlight, would begin to die. After a year, Earth's surface would reach an average of -73 degrees Celsius, -99 degrees Fahrenheit, colder than the Antarctic winter. Oceans would begin to freeze from the top down, leaving only liquid water deep below the surface. Humans could survive for a while using artificial heating, underground bunkers, and geothermal energy. However, without food from plants and livestock, starvation would become a major issue. The atmosphere freezes as Earth cools. Even the air we breathe would start to freeze. The oxygen and nitrogen in the atmosphere would liquefy and eventually solidify, settling onto the surface as frost. This process would strip Earth of its protective atmosphere, leaving it vulnerable to cosmic radiation and micrometeoroids. Anyone still alive at this point would have to rely entirely on sealed habitats and artificial life support systems. The role of geothermal energy. While the surface becomes a frozen wasteland, Earth's core would remain molten for billions of years due to radioactive decay. This internal heat could keep deep underground areas warm enough to support life. Life might persist near geothermal vents in the deep ocean, where organisms already thrive without sunlight. These ecosystems could become humanity's last refuge. What about other planets? The disappearance of the sun wouldn't just affect Earth. It would send shockwaves through the entire solar system. Mercury and Venus, without the sun's gravity, they too would drift off into space, but their close proximity to the sun means they'd cool even faster than Earth. Mars, the red planet, already cold, would become an even harsher, lifeless rock. The outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, being farther away, rely less on the sun's heat but would still be plunged into total darkness. Comets, asteroids, and smaller objects in the solar system would also scatter into the void, creating chaotic debris fields. Could humanity survive? If humanity were to survive, it would require unprecedented innovation and unity. Potential solutions might include underground cities, utilizing geothermal heat to build self-sustaining underground habitats. Artificial lighting, using nuclear or fusion power to simulate sunlight for agriculture and daily life. Space colonization. If we had already established colonies on other planets or spacecraft, humanity might have a chance to migrate. But even with these measures, survival would be extraordinarily challenging. Our entire ecosystem is intricately linked to the sun, from food chains to climate regulation. The long-term picture, drifting in the dark eventually, Earth would become a frozen, lifeless rock drifting through the universe. Without the sun's stabilizing influence, the Milky Way's gravitational forces might pull the remnants of our solar system into a new star's orbit, or a black hole. A reminder of our fragility. The sudden disappearance of the sun is a thought experiment, not a likely scenario. The sun will remain stable for about 5 billion more years before it begins to die, expanding into a red giant and eventually collapsing into a white dwarf. Still, this scenario reminds us how dependent we are on our star, not just for warmth and light but for the very fabric of life. The sun is more than a celestial body, it's the heart of our existence. So next time you step outside and feel the warmth of the sun, take a moment to appreciate its brilliance. Without it, life as we know it would cease to exist. What do you think? Could humanity find a way to endure the unimaginable, or would the loss of the sun spell the end for us all?